Okay, everybody, if you are okay with the transformations of sine and cosine, I don't think you're going to have any difficulty in this section here. I think it's a little bit simpler, but of course, knowing these functions at their key points is everything. Now, for tangent, we know basically a cycle occurs between minus pi over 2 and pi over 2. For cotangent, between 0 and pi. Both functions have a period of pi. Both functions are odd functions. Really doesn't come into play here. But again, we're going to do something very much similar to what we did with sine and cosine. So a quick summary of basically what you really should know. Okay, the minimum. At 0 degrees, tangent is sine over cosine. Cotangent is cosine over sine. So cotangent is going to positive infinity, meaning a vertical asymptote at 0. Tangent is simply 0. My next key point or key angle, associated with the point, pi over 4. Because I know that tangent is 1 and cotangent is 1. At pi over 2, okay, let me fix that. Pi over 2, well, I could have left it there, huh? I could have left it there. But at pi over 2, we know that tangent is sine over cosine. Sorry, sine over cosine. But that is positive infinity. We got a vertical asymptote. Cotangent, cosine over sine, 0. All right, so that's our first quadrant. It also helps to know pi. Okay, for pi, we know that for cotangent, we have a vertical asymptote. At 3 pi over 2, which is minus pi over 2, minus pi over 2. The reason I'm using minus pi over 2 is because, again, that primary cycle. So minus pi over 2, we know that tangent has a negative or a vertical asymptote. Okay? So basically, here's the unit circle, the minimum to me that you really need to know, because really for pi over 4, the rest of them are implied. You need to really know the sign of cosine and sine, x and y, right? Moving on. Now, we're going to look at the graph of y equal to a tan bx. A, we know, is the amplitude when you take the absolute value. Basically, what is it doing? Really, this is what you want to know. It's affecting the y value because remember, if you look simply at y equal to tan x, the a is on the outside, right? So it's affecting y. Now, if I'm looking at y of tan x, and I put a b here, that's affecting x, correct? So we're going to be doing something very similar that we were doing before in terms of working with the key points and just keeping in mind that what's inside the parentheses here would affect x, what's on the outside, and we're not going to have that vertical shift, okay? Not doing it, okay, for tan and cotangent, but the outside would be affecting my y value. So the amplitude stretching factor, if you want to call it absolute value of a. Our period, notice how this is very similar to what was going on with sine and cosine, but our period was pi, so it's simply pi over the absolute value of b. Range, minus infinity to infinity. For sine and cosine, it was minus 1 and 1. Asymptotes, well, you can memorize this right here, but I'm going to be working with the key points. So I don't know. I'm not going to scratch it out. And tangent is an odd function. I repeated that for unknown reasons. All right. Next, similar for cotangent. When we have the a out here, it's affecting the y value. The b in here is affecting our x value and thus affecting our period. We know our period is pi over absolute value of b, because again, cotangent has a period of pi. Really don't care about the domain, okay? I just know it does have vertical asymptotes. Tangent has vertical asymptotes. Range, minus infinity, infinity. Here's where the asymptotes occur. Cotangent is an odd function, but again, most of this, in terms of actually graphing, I'm going to see how this affects my key points for the most part, right? But again, A, the amplitude stretching factor. It's really a stretching factor because the amplitude is really infinity here. Let me just say it that way, okay? Because that's really what we mean by that. Period, instead of 2 pi over absolute value b, pi over absolute value b. Mostly everything else we'll be working with. All right, moving on. Okay, our first graphing problem involving tangent here. Well, I know that I want to graph key points. I want to know really the asymptotes because again, special properties, special things about any graph, you kind of want to know, right? And asymptotes are very important in terms of graphing. We know that there are some easy points, some key points, etc. So let's get our asymptotes out the way, all right? We know that tan has an asymptote when x is equal to minus pi over 2, right? Well, we're working 1/2 x equal to minus pi over 2. So at minus pi, my y value, remember at minus pi over 2, the asymptote is y equal to minus infinity, right? Okay. Well, 2 doesn't affect minus infinity. It's still minus infinity. So guess what? We still have an asymptote. It's just occurring at minus pi. Another asymptote when x is equal to pi over 2. Well, we're working with 1/2 x. So when is that equal to pi over 2? When x is equal to pi. Now, when x is pi over 2, y, asymptote, or y is going to positive infinity, meaning pi over 2 is the asymptote because y is going to positive infinity. Well, how does the function get affected by the 2? Well, if I multiply this by 2, I still get positive infinity. So why, Mr. Rappel, are we multiplying this by 2? Well, what if it was a negative 2? If it was a negative 2, know what? The graph would be going upwards as it approaches minus pi over 2. And the graph would be going downwards if we were approaching pi over 2, because that would be a negative 2, and a negative and a positive is negative. Remember, I don't know how you were taught this stuff, but signs are very important, okay? Asymptotes can be affected by just signs. Maybe the numbers themselves might affect it, because when you multiply infinity by a number, it's still infinity. The question is, what is the sign, positive infinity or negative infinity? It's prerequisite to the course. Sorry, guys. I hope the instructor did teach you all that, okay? All right. Well, we do have another key point, which I love. Which one do I love? Well, when x is equal to pi over 4. Well, 1/2 x is equal to pi over 4 when x is equal to pi over 2. Why? Because when x is pi over 4, y is equal to 1. But again, we have a coefficient here. So when x is pi over 2, y is equal to 2. We have all our information. I'm going to show you the graph. You would have to move things around, but this is basically what you'd be trying to find out. Let's see the graph here. Notice that when x is minus pi, My graph is going to minus infinity. That is important. Like I said, that sign, if that was a -2, this thing would be going up like that. Okay? My other asymptote is at pi, and y is going to positive infinity when I approach it. Remember, that this is my key cycle, really. This is what I'm doing. I'm implicitly working in my key cycle. So if I know what that key cycle looks like, I know what the graph is going to look like. Okay? Now, I could have plotted 0. Okay? But notice, apparently whoever did this, because I didn't do it actually picked another key point similar to me, because again, I like working with quote easy points. Now 0 is an easy point here, and if you think about it, when y is 0, you're still going to get 0. Only question is, what would the x value be? It's still 0. You can go through the routine just to confirm that this is a point on the graph. So I do have a point, and now I plot it, right? But usually x-intercepts are important, right? So again, I'm just sort of giving the idea, working with the key points. Moving on. Now let's graph y equal to 3 cotangent 3x. Our key points. For cotangent, we start off at x equal to 0, and we know that y is approaching positive infinity, an asymptote at 0, right? Well, we're working with 3x, really, but that doesn't change x. So x is 0, y is going to positive 3 times infinity, which is still positive infinity. So there's our first key point. When x is 0, y is going to positive infinity. My next key point I like, okay, well, pi over 4, pi over 2. Well, I know that, and when x is equal to pi over 2, y is equal to 0, right? Right? The next is pi over 2, y is equal to 0. Cosine over sine, 0 over 1. But we're working with 3x. So x is pi over 6. Now, what is my y value? Well, I got to multiply it by 3. Well, 3 times 0 is still 0. So pi over 6, 0 is another key point. Okay. Well, vertical asymptotes are so important. Let's do the pi one. X is pi. When x is pi, we know that y is approaching negative infinity. Right? Draw yourself your little picture if you need to, right? Pi, you're coming this way. You know that cotangent is cosine over sine. That's a negative over a positive, so negative infinity, right? Visuals can help, even if it's simple. Well, let's see what we got here. Well, x is pi, but I'm not working with x. I'm working with 3x. So x is equal to pi over 3. What's going on over here? Because again, if I had a sign associated with the 3, it could affect my direction for y. Sorry, infinity. So minus infinity. Okay, now let me clean this up a bit for y'all, huh? I hate leaving too much of a mess. I'm a math person, but well, then y is going to minus 3 infinity, which is still minus infinity. So here's the graph. If you notice, okay, at pi over 3, y is going to negative infinity. At 0, y is going to positive infinity. Now, he has a different key point than I do. Well, know what he did? Let's put it in here. When x is equal to, when x is equal to pi over 4, y is equal to 1, right? Cotangent's 1 at pi over 4. But I'm working with 3x. So x is equal to pi over 12. Now my y value is being affected by 3 also. So y is equal to 3. So when x is pi over 12, y is equal to 3. But notice which one shows up on the graph? That's kind of why I don't know. I ain't going to say nothing. Otherwise, I'll make this video 4 hours long. So basically, what I'm doing again is working with my key points. Sometimes one key point's better than another one. You never know. But they just want a key point. All right? Moving on. Let's graph this one here. You can always pause the video, right? I don't say that all the time, but you can, and give it a try. Well, let's get started here. We're working with tan, and we know that tan at minus pi over 2 is approaching minus infinity. But we're working with 4x, so we're really working with minus pi over 8. What's happening to y? It's being multiplied by 1/2. Anything multiplied to infinity is still infinity, so negative infinity. So there's our first asymptote. Our second asymptote, if you think about it, really is just going to be a positive. If you add pi, well, I ain't going to say nothing. All right, so let's just do it. Okay. My next asymptote is at pi over 2. We know that y is approaching positive infinity, but we're working with 4x, so we're actually at pi over 8. Y is approaching 1/2 positive infinity, which is still positive infinity. A key point when x is, no one, I'm going to just work with minus pi over 4 because we know y is equal to negative 1 there. Just doing it to be a little different here. We know at pi over 4 y is 1, just to show you a little difference. Well, we'll work with 4x. So really this is minus pi over 16. And y is being affected by 1/2, so this is really minus 1/2, right? Okay, so here are my 3 points, and let's see what they gave me in terms of the answer, and then I might say a little bit more. All right, so I know I have an asymptote at minus pi over 8, and I'm going down, check. I have another asymptote at pi over 8, and I better be going up, check. And then for me, my point was minus pi over 16, y is minus 1/2. Well, look at them. They got a positive pi over 16, so they worked with pi over 4, right? And got positive 1/2. So you could actually use either one of the 2 points as your point. Understand? But again, if you want to, plot out your key points. Got it? Moving on. Well, that is the end of 14, transformations of the tangent and cotangent functions. Nothing really great new going on here, y'all. If you got that idea of transforming the points really algebraically, to me, that's everything. All right, see you whenever. I think we have a midterm coming up, but I'm trying to get these videos out for you, so I don't know really where I am today or tomorrow or yesterday. All right, see you wherever, but I'll be in 15. Bye.